Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the second video on the Shovelhead primary side strip down. We're going to pull off the inner primary today and have a look at the two problem areas we've got. Part 1, if I've managed to master the technology, should appear somewhere up here. Who knows? It may not, in which case have a look on the channel for part 1. Let's go and get on. Right, back to it. Solenoid's got to come off. There are two bolts, one that this is attached already and one up there. They're fairly inaccessible. I've got a 1/4 inch ratchet. I don't have an AF socket the right size in 1/4 inch, so I'm using an 11 milli. So I'm going to undo these two and that'll get pulled back. So I'll bring it back in a second because I'm going to have to get in front of you to get this undone. As I say, access is quite restricted. Right, two bolts are out. There's a spacer which has disappeared. Why won't that come back? Right, okay. I'm going to take the cover off, 1 second. I didn't, I'm just being slightly too hesitant. So that's that out of the way. That presumably will stay with that. And the bending should come out of there. There it is. Right. Good. That leaves the starter motor to undo, which is held by two bolts, one there, and they're accessed from the other side. Now they're underneath the oil tank and they're underneath the battery box. So I'm not going to be able to light that and show you. So I'll just show you. In fact, I'll probably use that one, which is super long and has a locking tab on the end so you don't lose your socket. Right, I'll just undo the two starter bolts and come back. Right, the starter motor bolts were a bit more of a problem than I expected. Now the battery tray normally sits here. I had to remove that to see this one, which meant the exhaust pipe had to come off because it blocked that mount. So exhaust off, battery tray off, and then access to the starter through there. Now my starter also had a rear support plate which I've removed, which is leaving the starter loose. So there you go, a bit more work. Let's go back round the front and take the inner cover off. Right, so we've got 4 nuts with washers here, which must hold on the transmission. 2 bolts here that are lock wired. And then 2 bolts at the front, but one's missing. I don't know why, but it is. I'll have to investigate that. It's obviously been missing for some time. Let's give it a go, shall we? So they are 9/16. And there's 4 of them. 2, 3, 4. Right, I'll just undo them and bring it back. Right, the nuts are off. The washers are recessed. There we go. Which makes them slightly awkward to get out. Oh, don't tell me that one's not magnetic. What a pain. Let me get another pick and see if we can get it out. There we go. Let's get that behind it. Good. Right, not like the rest, so that's an aftermarket fitment. I'll leave them for a second. I'll just take the bolt out the front, and then that should be the last pair holding everything together. So we'll get rid of the one at the front, which is awkwardly positioned behind there. Apologies if you can hear torrential rain, not a lot I can do about it. And it also means I'm not missing out riding, because I won't be going out in this anyway, so I suppose that's one good thing. Right. Oh, that isn't even tight. Not much point lock wiring unless you tighten them up first. That's disappointing. That one, as I say, is not even tight. Nor that one. Okay, so the lock wired ones weren't even tight. Okay, so I think, oh, I was going to say I think that's everything. Well, it does appear to be. I think it was moving. There we go, lots more oil. Yuck. Right, we have a metal plate behind the starter motor. I'll clean the case off and we'll have a look at it more closely in a minute. Spacer for the solenoid, which I dropped. Yuck, that's horrible. To drop the chain off, I just drop the chain off and then we'll get this sprocket off and we can see what we're up against. Right, the chain's off and there is a lock washer bent over there and there. The nut is not even tight. So, ah dear. It does make you wonder. Okay, you're not worried about my special tool for getting this off, that's for sure. Right. Oh. So this is where our special tool is meant to come in handy. So that goes on there to protect those threads. That'll do. And that goes over there to undo that. It's not far enough. Why won't that go on further? Right, that's not great, but we'll give it a go. Right, did his job. Can't ask for any more than that, really. It's a washer, a sprocket. That was not what I was expecting to see. I'll have to double check the manual, but I thought there was a L-shaped spacer there that stopped that turning. Okay, I'll have to look at my parts book, but I'm pretty certain there's meant to be one there. Maybe I'm getting confused, but it's not there and it's not fallen out. Okay, so that's it for that bit, because we'll look at replacing the seals in the next video. So now we've got to turn our attention to exposing our rotor. So that's it, and that should come off over that shaft, but that seems to be part of that. Right, let me have a look at the parts book. Right, I've had a quick look. That is an extension piece that sits over the end of the crank. So that should come off, but it's showing absolutely no desire to do so. So I'm going to have to try and think of some way of getting this off, because I don't think my puller will get behind there. This is a problem. Right, this extension. I've applied heat around here, which is where it's most likely to be stuck, and very carefully used a small tire iron to gently, just, and I mean gently, wiggle all the way around, and it's started to move. There's a washer behind it which was solid before and is now free, so it's back to the heat. And I've also used a block of wood just on the end with a hammer, just to gently tap the end, because it overhangs, so that will introduce a very slight wobble to break the seal that will be here. So I'm just going to keep going, hope for the best. Right, we now have a noticeable gap, and you can see the splines that it sits on, and it still won't come off. Oh dear. Okay, it's off. Now, it's only held by that very short piece of spline there, right at the top. That's all that was holding it. There's no damage to the splines either on that or on that. And there's the washer that sits behind it, which looks like somebody's levered off before, because there's really some quite deep gouges in the edge, which I know I haven't done, because my stuff went in a lot further than that. That's right at the very edge. So it's been off before without a shadow of a doubt. So now we've got to get that off, and it's completely solid. There are 3 screwed holes, which again are not exactly as I expected, because I thought Shovelheads only had 2 holes and they weren't threaded, but that's quite possibly just my ignorance. So next we've got to get this off. So I suspect I'm going to have to find a puller with 3 legs that I can put bolts through to pull that off. So really I need to know the distance between that, and then try and find a puller. I think a friend of mine has a harmonic balancer puller kit, which might just be about right for this. That goes up to 40 odd mil, so that's well past that bolt hole. 37, right, so the harmonic one will fit. Whether the kit will have bolt holes that size, I'll have to find out what they are. I suspect they're 3/8, but I don't know. So it is job stop for the minute until I can find a suitable puller to get that rotor off. Right, I've cleaned up around the area we're going to be working on, and I've immediately found a problem again. This is black paint, by the way, not grease or oil. As well as the missing L clip thing, which I'm sure is meant to be in there where that slot is and isn't. Somebody has staked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and one under there 9, plus one where they've not even been close, around the circumference of the seal. Presumably in a mistaken belief it's going to help it seal better. So that's going to cause a problem getting it out, and then more of a problem getting it back in again. So I'm probably going to have to take a Dremel and gently relieve the bits where it's all been staked. But why they've done that number I do not know, and it's completely haphazard. You've got 5 together there in the space of 1.5 inches. Just bonkers. Anyway, we'll find out as we go along. Right, before we go any further, there's another seal which I'd missed, and I only spotted it by looking in the seal packet and working out the only place it could go. And there's a seal in there. Now it was quite hard to see, to be honest, and I've got it going but not very easy to get out, so I used my 45-degree pick to go in from there and peel the outside out. And then once I managed that, I used a small screwdriver and a hammer at a couple of places where the main legs come out and knocked the seal down, which crushed it slightly. And then once it was crushed slightly, it started to move, but it's still not willing to come out. Come on. It is difficult. It's not an easy one to do this. It's, there we go. I've come across easier ones, that's for sure. So there you are. So that needs cleaning up, degreasing. And the other thing while I was here is I said there was no keeper. And I actually found that hanging about in there when I was looking at that seal. So it's obviously snapped. Right, let's see what we get in our seal kit, shall we? Got the cork we need, we've got the main seal that we need, the seal I missed. We've got lock washers, a Woodruff key, and our little keeper. 2 bigger seals, which I don't need, they're for another part transmission with nuts and bolts for them. And then, I'm assuming clutch nut seal. Not sure what the difference is there. Look pretty much the same to me. Anyway, they're the main ones. So, a good set for the money. I'm impressed. Anyway, the next job is getting that big seal out.